Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Logan, and as promised, this is my 2-month review of working for K&B Transportation. It's going to be a pretty quick review because I haven't been with the company very long, and currently I'm on my very first home time with them, and I think it's a very generous amount of time. I'm sorry about the angle, and hopefully you can hear me okay. I have a few notes here just to make sure I don't forget anything. Also, there were a couple questions on my last video. I have incorporated that in here. So hopefully I've answered some of your questions. Anyone who might be looking into K&B Transportation and have stumbled across this video, hopefully it's helpful. If you have any questions, maybe I didn't cover something, go ahead and ask it below and I'll do my best. Again, I am a new employee with K&B Transportation, so I don't know all of the ins and outs. I just know what I have up to now. And for those of you who had never tuned in to my channel before, maybe this is your first video of mine, I did work for Prime Inc. I went there March, well actually I went there February, end of February, and I earned my CDL through them March 1st, 2024. 2 months ago, I went ahead and I left Prime for K&B Transportation. My reasons weren't that I didn't like Prime anymore or anything like that. You know, I had my good times definitely, and I have my appreciations for Prime, but at the end of the day, I wasn't making money there. I know lots of people are making money there. Don't come at me. Not everyone makes money there. Some people do, some people don't. I did not really make very good money there, so I left. So the first question I got asked, I thought was a very good one to start out with, was what was orientation like? So orientation was actually pretty good, but they were long days. It was like just 2 days. But the nice thing is this company does fly you out. I did not have to go on a bus like I did with Prime. Probably the worst part of my getting there was the bus. It was cramped. It was 15 hours. I got to stop 3 times maybe to go to the bathroom and that. Hey, I got there and it didn't cost me anything, but man, I'll never go through that again. So this company flew me out there. So after I got done at Prime, they flew me from St. Louis all the way to, well, they're in Nebraska, and I can't remember, I think like the big one in Omaha, and then they came and picked us up. There was a couple of us and drove us to where they're at. It is South Sioux something. I don't have it in front of me right now, and I can't really remember, but it's in Nebraska. Sioux City, South Sioux City, Nebraska. There is a hotel just like across the street. Well, it's not directly across the kitty corner, but it's right over there. They take you there, drop you off. You get your own room to yourself. You don't have to share with anybody. And then they pick you up and they bring you back and forth. You do get lunch every day while you're there at Subway. So that was really nice. And so that's how I got there to orientation. As far as what goes on, it's the normal stuff. They will have you do a DOT there, even if you just got yours done and you already have one that's up to date. They're going to do one there, so you'll have a drug test, you know, whatever they got to do to get through that, which is pretty easy. They drive you there and back. After you do all your paperwork and you do your drug test and all of that, and now you get through all of that stuff, then you have all these videos you got to watch and stuff, like typical type of things that you have to do. That's day one, and you will be there for your 10-hour shift. You know, you will be there for 10 hours. So that's probably, you know, the hardest part of that, but it's easy money, you know. You have $1,000 sign-on bonus when you get hired, so that's going to be on your first paycheck. So that was really nice. I went in on their Friday, so, you know, their pay week, or their pay period is Monday at noon. So it's Monday to Monday, which I like a lot better because you get the whole week to do all your miles, and then on the weekend when it's light, you've already got most of your miles, right? So I like that better. It works for me. But I ended up going in there on Friday, but I still got a really great paycheck. So the next day you go in, there's a little bit more you're doing, but there is the driving portion. And I can't remember now because I've been working so much that I can't remember if we did that at the end of the first day. or if we did that. I think we did that the first day, actually. So part of your first day is your driving test and your backing test. And, that was pretty straight. The driving was the easiest I've ever done. I mean, it was literally a couple blocks. They just wanted to get us through it, make sure that we aren't crazy. You can usually, hopefully you can tell that within the first little bit you're driving. And then we did our backing portion, which was set up by the owner of the place. So you have 5 minutes to do this. So you have to there's all these trailers lined up and then yours. So you're going to be backing into trailers and you're pulling out of this trailer, right? So you're going to pull out of the trailer and you're going to pull up across into their makeshift fuel aisle. And you're going to get into that straight, and then you're going to back into the part that you just came out of. And that's it. You have 5 minutes to do all that. So it was pretty easy, actually. And I'm always worried about doing a backing test or the backing and stuff, because that was the thing that took me the longest to learn. So it always makes me nervous. Everyone's watching you, that it's different now from when I'm in a dock or whatever and everyone's watching me. I'm kind of over it now, right? Though there are some moments where you feel the pressure on you, but for this I was just really nervous, and I just wanted to do well and get hired. So you pass that, you pass all the other stuff, then you're pretty much in. Your next day, you're just finishing up a few things, and then they take you to your truck. You inspect it, you write anything down that needs to be done, anything that needs to be filled, whatever, and then you go, and then we just hung out and waited in the orientation room until we got the okay to get onto our trucks. We got into our trucks, and we were able to go, to the Walmart down there, get any shopping we need to be done. Also, they gave us a $50 Walmart gift card. I don't know if they're still doing that, but I was surprised by that, to be able to use to get any supplies we needed. Also, they gave us a $100 bonus for, what did they call it? For travel expense. Even though they paid for us to go there, they gave it to us anyway. I don't know if when you get there they'll still be doing that, but that's what they did. That was a surprise. And then of course the $1,000 first check sign-on bonus, and we did get that $1,000 on that first check. While we were on our truck and whatever, I waited to hear from my fleet manager or dispatcher, whatever you want to call them, that we're assigned to. Had a good conversation with him. He's going to go over some stuff with you, what they expect. He's going to ask you some questions, and then you're good to go. My dispatcher's pretty cool. He's really laid back. I'm pretty laid back. I do have spaz attacks every now and then on certain things, but that's neither here nor there. That's really, generally speaking, I'm pretty laid back, easygoing person. So we vibe pretty well, and over the 2 months, we've gotten along very well. After that, I went to Walmart. I got the stuff I needed. Actually, when I got done talking to him, he already went over my first load, which was picking up that next morning, so I could get a good night's sleep, and then I was on my way. So orientation I thought was really easy. They even say it's the easiest. You are going to be there 10 hours each day though. But after that, when I was all said and done, by the end of the night, I knew what I was going to be doing the next day, and I went and did it, and I've been working ever since. Now, I'm going to go over the different, what I hired in as and what's available, and I have it up on the screen, but I did the highest paying one. Okay, so I did the Road Warrior over the road. Okay, it's the best money in trucking. It's right on their webpage, and it's pretty good. I don't know if it's the best, but it's definitely pretty good for someone that I only had a year and a half in. I still do not have my 2 years in yet. I don't have that until March of 2026. On the web page here, it says that you can earn up to $90,000 per year. You can earn up to $2,000 plus on top weeks, and a weekly minimum guaranteed pay of $1,610. I'm going to talk about that in a second. 70 cents per mile starting pay. Yes, I'm getting 70 cents per mile plus per diem and all of that. Additional accessory pay, bonus incentives available, 1,000 first check sign-on bonus, extended timeout, 10 to 20 days home. I'll go over that in a minute. 100% non-touch freight. Yes, that is true. Detention pay, drop pay, clean inspection, all that kind of stuff. They also have Midwest Regional, 68 cents per mile. You're out for 4 weeks and you get like 5 days home. They also have Midwest Regional, which is 62 cents per mile. And I'm not going to go over all the stuff on that. You can go on the webpage yourself. I can only talk to what the one I'm doing. They also have Midwest Home Weekends, where that's 65 cents a mile. So also full benefits. My full benefits, they will be, and you sign up for that too. You sign up for that the first day if you want them. And it's bundled in. So I'll have, you know, health, dental, and optical, all bundled in one nice neat little package. I decided to do the Road Warrior because I'm already over the road anyway, and I want to make sure to get my bare minimum of 2 years. I plan on getting more years, of course. I chose the one that was going to get me paid the most. I figured that's going to be the one where I'm going to be making up money I didn't make, which I have, and then some. So now how this works on the Road Warrior, the one that I'm on the package, and that's the one they're currently like hiring for, but you're going to want to call and talk to a recruiter and get the details, because they might have changed that. And if you are in California, they will not hire you. They hire for pretty much everywhere, but it depends on the package that I keep saying package, the team that you're hiring on. So with the Road Warrior, over the road, the one that you get paid the most, they'll hire you from anywhere except California. The other ones, you got to be a little bit more closer Midwest. Okay, now as far as the minimum pay, that is true. I have gotten that minimum pay because there's been a couple weeks where I didn't get as many miles, right? Now, the stipulations are these. You cannot be late on any order, meaning you're the reason you're late, not natural causes, weather, whatever. The shipper not having it ready and taking forever, causing you to be late. If you cause yourself to be late, you don't get that guaranteed pay, and that's within that work cycle, that pay period. You can't have any HOS violations during that period either, or you don't get the pay. And if you don't, you can't turn down any loads, with the exception of New York. You can turn down a New York load anytime it's offered to you without penalty. But outside of that, if you turn down a load, that's fine, I guess. I haven't done that, you know, but you won't get your guaranteed pay. So if you get under the 2,300 miles, because 70 cents, 2,300 miles, that's that pay, then, you know, you won't get the guarantee. You'll just get what miles you got. That did happen to me once. My second week, I didn't qualify for that, and I didn't have quite 2,300 miles. I had like 2,000, I think it was 2,100 or something like that. And so I don't know what happened. I didn't calculate my basic math very well, and I thought I was early to a place, and I was a half hour late. That made me upset at myself, you know. But they're like, you know what? It happens from time to time. Don't get you. It's your second week. Like, don't bum yourself out. But I'm like, I don't know what glitched in my brain. Now, the sign-on bonus, yes, I got that the first week, so that was pretty awesome. Yes, no touch freight. I haven't had to mess with any freight. I just go bump the dock and I leave. Now, for the time off. So with the Road Warrior, you have to be out 2 months minimum. That's what that team is. So if that's something that you have to be home every 4 weeks or something, that's not the team you're going to qualify for. You'll have to do one of the other ones. But I'm fine with being out 2 months at a time or more. I can stay out as long as I want beyond that. Now, I can have up to 20 days off maximum though, right? But if you do 2 months, you get 10 days off. So I'm on a 10-day off work period, or my home time right now is 10 days off. I think that's very generous considering I've only been out 8 weeks. One other thing I gotta mention with this company, if you like doing your 34-hour resets, then probably this isn't the company for you, because they do not do them, at least not on the Road Warrior team. We work recaps. I work every day for 2 months straight, bare minimum. So, and I'm fine with that, you know. It's made me have to, because I used to use 34-hour resets really to do any shopping I needed to do, and all my laundry. You know, I'd have a whole day and a half to be able to do that, and I would take one of those like once a month. But I haven't had any. We just do recaps. So what I'll do is I'll just say, hey, You know, I have a lot of laundry to do, and I'd like to order some food from Walmart, so I'm saving money on the road and I can just make myself sandwiches and stuff. Can you put me on a load that takes some time? You know, that gives me some time where I'm going to be able to be stopped for like 12 hours as opposed to 10. So I can still get my rest but get that stuff done. And they'll do it, you know, at least my dispatcher hasn't had a problem with that. Equipment, the equipment's pretty new. I think they like to keep everything within 5 years. I have a 2021, they do the Freightliner Cascadias. All the trailers have been great. You know, I haven't had any issues with any trailer that I've gotten really so far. I have had my APU, had a coolant leak, and then a week later, the alternator needed to be replaced. But other than that, it's been working fine. Also, it runs off kerosene, so that's new for me. But the APU works great otherwise. I had one other issue actually this week, a couple days ago, and I put my seat back, and I think I did a video about it. It might be in my next video because I did film a little bit of it, and I had an air leak that needed to be repaired before I could drive. It was like serious like that, and they got it fixed. You know, they put you up in a hotel. If they need to put you up in a hotel, no cost to you. They get you there. You know, if you need an Uber or whatever, they have an account with them, I think they said. I haven't had to use the Uber. I've been lucky that I've been driven there in different ways, but I've gotten there. So they are accommodating in that way. They're not just going to leave you there on the side of the road. Also, they find safety very important. Okay, so that was a major thing for me. If I'm going to work for a company, not only do I want to get good paychecks, but I want to make sure that they actually care about your safety more than the stock. Because the stock, the load is a thing. You are not a thing, you're a person, right? So, case in point, when a big snowstorm came through and I was in Iowa and it was getting really bad and I was already trying to find a place to park and let them know it's a little unsafe here, I think I gotta wait. Something came up on it's not a Qualcomm, it's the Geo tablet. I always want to say Qualcomm sometimes. That said, hey, you're in a no drive zone for K&B transportation. We've deemed it unsafe. You need to pull over and call in. So that's what I did. And they had us down for the night. The next morning, probably around 9 o'clock, I got the okay that I could go. So I appreciated that. I don't have very many other notes. I think that I've covered just about everything that I've experienced. I don't think I have any other notes. I think I've covered my full experience. I know that I'm not showing you my pay. I never did that before with Prime. I find it misleading, but I haven't got any weeks where I got over 2,000 after taxes, but I've definitely got 1,500s. I think the lowest paycheck I got was that week that I was late, and it was like almost 1,300. But most of the time I get that 1,500, 14 or 15 actually. It's like 1460, and then it was like 1580 or something like that. Now for me, that's great. That's what I want. You know, I don't want to go under $1,200 a week payout after taxes ever again. I just don't. This next time out, I'm going to see if we can't get my my miles up there a little bit more. The only places I asked to stay out of is Jersey and New York. Anywhere else, I'm fine with going. I just need a break because when I was with Prime Tanker, that's all I was. It was in New York and New Jersey, especially New Jersey. So I said I need a break from that, and they haven't offered me anything over there. But when I get back from my home time, I'm going to see if you can't scale me up a little bit and give me 2,500 miles here and there. Keep me at 23, I guess, and we'll see how my paychecks go with that. But I'm very happy with the paychecks that I have. So far, I'm very happy with the company, and they have kept their promises to me. I know that I got a couple people on there like, oh, they don't keep their promises, blah, blah, blah. I haven't had that particular incident happen to me. They've kept their promises to me. They've been a good company so far to me. Again, I've only been there 2 months, but so far I'm pretty happy. And I thought I was going to regret leaving Prime. I really did. I was nervous. You know, I was excited, but I was nervous. I'm like, man, I hope I didn't make a mistake. Hope I didn't leave Prime too early, you know, because at least I was getting a little something in a paycheck when I was finally a company driver. But yeah, after my first check, I was fine. I was fine. Oh, there is one more thing. Someone posted on the last video too, and it had to do with Prime. And it said, I've been told that all the money in Prime is in the lease, the leasing program. And then someone else put like a laughing face. So if you've even made it this far, I think maybe I'll say my piece with it like this, because I do follow other people that are lease operators, and they report that they're doing well, they're happy with it. I have heard a lot of people, and I've seen people, whether in person when I was at Prime, when they were talking to the newbies coming in and showing them what they're making. I know people are doing well there, okay? So here's my thing. Your fleet manager and sales will make or break you. They will make or break you, okay? So if you have a fleet manager that doesn't fight for its fleet and make sure that sales is giving them good offers, then what are you going to do? There's nothing, because you can't look at the computer. To me, it feels like unless I can choose my loads, I can look at a load board and choose what loads are available at that time when I am ready for one, I don't feel like a boss, okay? Sometimes there might be fleet managers there that won't work for you and they work for others, and vice versa, so I didn't make money. I went broke, and it hurt my credit rating, and I almost lost my car, despite the fact that I would write in and I would call in and ask for better stuff, like these aren't good, and I would give valid reasons, and it didn't matter. So I did what I could, but I didn't want to be a lease operator anyway. I wanted to be just a regular driver, for Prime. I didn't want to be my own boss. But I'm not going to go into why I had to go lease if I wanted to be on my own truck. I've already talked about that. But here's my thing. If you want to go to Prime and lease, I don't recommend you do it right out the gate when you just earned your CDL and you don't know what the heck you're doing, really. You might think you do, but you don't, okay? There's a lot you have to learn, and there's a lot of stress when you're all of a sudden on your own and you get out there and you got to learn to manage your clock and your time, and you need to learn how to finagle, okay? You need to see how you work with this fleet manager that you're going to have and how they're going to treat you, and all of that. So, and if you're like me and you're not very good at getting what you need or want, because maybe you just want to be seen as a good employee and you want to be agreeable and stuff, that's not going to work. It's not going to work as a lease operator. You have to be able to push and get what you want and what you feel is right. If you're able to do that, then fine. Also, I don't think you should go into a lease operation unless you have a few $1,000s in the bank for when stuff goes wrong. Not a matter of if, when. I had a brand new, I only had it for 6 months. I was the only driver, Freightliner Cascadia, and the radiator blew. And that's on me. And I was in Love's in White House, Tennessee, and they dicked around literally and pushed everything out a week to fix it, which, guess what? If you're a lease operator, you have to pay for your housing. So I finally had a little bit of money, just a little bit, and it all went. It all went. So I have a couple thousand, and I couldn't tell you what that would be. 5, 10 more, I don't know, but you're gonna need it. So, if you want to do it, fine. Hey, it's your life, it's your business, whatever. I understand why you would want to do it. And yes, there is the capability to make money there, because people are. But know that you could be one of the ones that you don't. And then everyone's going to blame you when you have no control over what the fleet manager and sales is going to bring you. You have no control over whether or not he likes you or you're one of his favorites. I'm not saying I have any proof of favoritism, but I have heard some stories from people who are still there. So, can you make money? Sure. Maybe you should just save up and buy your own truck, though. Maybe you should lease it somewhere else where the payment's a lot cheaper. I have heard there are places that it's a lot cheaper, and that's, I think, the last I'm going to say about that. I don't want to dissuade anyone from going to Prime. You know, I don't want to dissuade anyone for, you know, wanting a lease. I get it, but maybe have some money stacked in the bank before you give it a try. Okay, well, if I missed something as far as my K&B review, please do let me know. Put it down in the comments below. If you want to go there, they do a referral program. I do have a referral code. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. If you want to use it, you can. It will give me a little bit of money on my paycheck, so but you don't need to use it, or you can go find somebody else that you like better. You know, it's so far so good. So far it's a good company. So far I'm happy. I can afford to be out for 10 days. I am really just enjoying it. So thank you so much for following my journey so far. Anyways, if you made it this far, give a thumbs up. If you could, that would be great. Leave me a comment. You know, check in on me every now and then. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.